Joining us this morning, Pamela Falk, CBS News Foreign Affairs Analyst. Pam, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Any idea where this is headed? Do we see a ceasefire coming up, or is this really going to escalate?
This is a very difficult situation. You've got rockets increasing and peace possibilities ebbing. Now, that said, there is a lot of negotiation going on and intense diplomacy. That's because the Egyptian president has brought all the Arab League foreign ministers in and spoken with many, including U.S. President Barack Obama. Also, there are the UN Secretary General is en route to the region. An Egyptian envoy has gone to Gaza. So a lot of players are involved. In addition, you've got indirect talks for the first time Sunday between Hamas and Israel. And that's because an Israeli envoy was brought to Cairo, and one of the Hamas representatives in exile, Marshal, is in Cairo. So you have a lot of different people talking, trying to bring about a ceasefire.
Does anybody really want this? Does Hamas or Israel want this? And can either side afford it?
No, both sides don't want it. There's an election that's upcoming in Israel, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is showing the strength. Now, all of this started because there have been attacks on Israel on all of its borders. The neighborhood has gotten more dangerous. There are attacks on the Syrian border, on the Lebanese border, even on the Egyptian border, although the new president is trying to keep peace with Israel. And all around Israel, they're under attack at the same time that the rockets started to increase from Gaza. Now, the rockets started to increase from Gaza at the same time that the leadership of the West Bank has gone to the UN to ask for change of status to an observer state. And that is Abu Mazen, otherwise known as Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president. And so it may be that they're trying to change the status. Hamas is trying to get the naval blockade lifted. And all of that's coming when the neighborhood, as I said, has changed.
Last time that this happened, heavy civilian casualties on the Gaza side. Israel was criticized for that. President Obama said that Israel has the right to defend itself. But is there a line here? Is there a point where something, or maybe Israel, goes too far?
Well, right now, Israel's trying to target any of the Hamas leadership where the rockets are being propelled against Israel. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say that no country can sustain continuous attacks against its own people. Now, there are less casualties on the Israeli side because of this new missile defense system. And that was supported by the United States, paid for in part by the United States, and it does help Israel stop some of the rockets coming in. Right now, what you've seen is negotiations that have gone on with the West Bank in the past, and there is an effort to try to revive, at least on the U.S. side, the peace talks that President Obama wanted to do during his first term, didn't get to, and may very well do in his second term. You heard Senator McCain on Face the Nation this morning say that he thinks someone very high profile, like former President Bill Clinton, could be someone who could start some kind of peace talks with Hamas and the West Bank and Israel.
Do you think we'll see that?
I think we may very well see the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, in the waning days of her position, try to get these talks started. And that is very important. As you know, I was in Gaza this past year with the Secretary General as well as Jerusalem. The whole situation is long overdue. Israel wants some peace talks to get to the final status agreement. So does both sides of the Palestine story, which is the West Bank and Gaza. But this has gotten really out of hand. Gaza is somewhat emboldened by the fact that it has a friend in the new Egyptian leadership, Mohamed Morsi, the president of Egypt, who is Muslim Brotherhood. So the Egyptians did send an envoy to Gaza to say, we are with you. On the other hand, they're honoring the peace agreements of Camp David with Israel. So in a way, they're in a delicate position, but they're also in a good position to be able to get all sides talking. I'm hopeful, but it is going to be more rocket fire before this all happens Monday or Tuesday.
CBS News Foreign Affairs analyst Pamela Falk joining us with some insight this morning. Pam, thank you so much.
Absolutely, Terrell.